61, he's seen the fights. Johnny's 58, chasing the lights. Both had battles that brought them low, but they found a way to steal the show. Health concerns were weighing them down till they found a path that turned it around. Carnivore diet, they took the leap, finding strength in the promises they keep. Now they're living wild, living free, healing body and mind. Just wait and see. Tune into the truth every single week. Real talk with Brian and Johnny. That's the peak. 8 p.m. on YouTube. Gather near. Uplifting vibes. Let's give a cheer.
All right, we are live. Hello, Johnny. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. We have a couple people already in the chat. Rick is here.
What's up, Rick?
Hello, Rick. Linda is here. Hello.
Hey, Linda.
Peter, Papa Carnivore. Hello.
Peter.
Paul is here. Hello.
My friend.
Main Runner. Hello. Target Prime Rib. Good to see everybody.
Yep. Welcome all.
All right. Our topic tonight is called the Carnivore Comeback, how to get back on track after a slip. And Johnny has a bit to talk about with this because he's recently told us in a couple of his latest videos that he's had some struggles. So we'll go into that. Carnivore Backwoods is here. Hello. Good to see you.
Hey, John. Great to see you again.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you there. So Johnny, let's just kind of go into it. And what did you want to start us out with?
Brian, just that it's much harder to me, this journey, which is almost 2.5 years. Now you're exactly 1 year further along than I am. You started, I think, July 1, 2022. I started July 1, 2023 on the carnivore journey. And, the first year was really easy. I was able to maintain. I was rock solid. I had no slip ups, maybe one or two, but very minimal. And they were usually on like holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I got in such a great state of health and I started feeling so much better. My body was healing. My mind was healing. And I guess I got lulled into a false sense of security on a number of occasions thinking, well, I can have one treat, one donut, one honey bun. Pastry seems to be my Achilles heel. And that always led to, well, I've had one, let me just have another one. And then you convince yourself, well, this day shot to heck, just go ahead and pig out and binge. And I'm a really bad person when it comes to binging. Binge eating is it's something that I've struggled with my entire life, even before carnivore. And was doing really good, but had been rocking and rolling. But as you may or may not know, or our listeners may or may not know, my wife and I are getting ready to put our house on the market. We're moving out of state. So I got a lot going on in my life. I just got a promotion at work, ironically. I'm going to have to do a lot of commuting to live where we're going to live down in South Carolina and continue to work in Charlotte. I've already worked it out with my employer as far as arrangements where to sleep and stuff. And I'm going to retire in 3 years. So I only have to make this work for just a little under 3 years because we're not going to move until after the holidays. So with all the stress that life has brought along and all of the challenges that I seem to be facing on a day-to-day basis in my personal life, I don't know. I just reached for that comfort food that's been my comfort, my friend, if you will, for 58 years, and it's junk food. And once I have one, it ignites. It's like the spark that ignites a forest fire, and I find myself binging 2 or 3 days, and then I can kind of pull myself back and say, "Hey, man, what are you doing here? This you know better than this." And I can get back on plan or back on the horse, if you will, for a little while, and then the next catastrophe happens or whatever. Everybody has challenges in life, and mine are less than most people's, to be honest with you. So I've for the month of October, it was a tough month. I ate bread and honey buns and donuts probably 12, 13 times over the month of October. I'm not proud of it. I'm just being transparent. That's what happened. And I wish I could give you a better excuse, but it would be simply that it would be an excuse. But back on, we're doing really good lately. Solid. I've got plans to try to hit a new weight goal by the end of the year. By New Year's Eve, I want to weigh 240. I weighed 260.0 today, so I'm down 4.4 pounds since Saturday. So off to a pretty good start. But Brian, I'm sure there are people out there, maybe not you and maybe not Rick and some others, but there got to be some of our other watchers or listeners out there that have had the same type of experience that I've had. And there are people probably watching that won't comment on here, but are going through or have been through the same thing. We just need to try to figure out a way to lift people up, to let them know, hey, you made a mistake. It's okay. Give yourself grace. But you got to pick yourself up and move forward. And that's what I keep telling myself every day.
Yeah. So I definitely have done that before. I did that last Christmas. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I gained I can't remember, it was like 20 pounds or something like that in like 3 weeks or something ridiculous. It started with I've been doing great for like 2 years or whatever. It's been 2.5 years. So I'm going to have a cookie. And then it just snowballed. Right. And luckily, after a few weeks, I caught myself and I was able to get back on track. But I think, those of us that are carb addicts, that's the kind of thing that happens to us. There's like one thing that happens and then it snowballs. Or like with there's like the stress and the comfort thing is that carb, right? So that you go back to it and then it starts snowballing and whatever. So those are definitely things that happen. And I struggle with that sometime. I do want to come back to this a little bit, but there's a couple of comments in here I wanted to bring up. First of all, Cynthia is here. So hello, Cynthia.
Hey,
good to see you again. John says he's still lurking about, so that's good to see. So
yeah, I follow John on Facebook. I see him in there on Facebook a lot, but I love John to death, man. So happy he's here. Welcome back, John.
Yep. So all right, I want to go to this from Peter. He says, did you guys watch Dr. Bart Kay's reaction video to Dr. Lisa Wiedemann's video where she was upset that Dr. Chafee questioned the reasons why she gained weight and her BSA1C rose slightly on carnivore blood sugar? Okay. So I did see her video where she did call out Dr. Chafee, which was interesting. I didn't see Bart Kay's reaction video, but I bet you Bart Kay's reaction video had something to do with, of course, your A1C has rose a little bit because over time that happens, especially now, granted, she's been carnivore for a long time, but especially the longer you're on carnivore, the longer your red blood cells live. So there's an increase in your A1C. That doesn't mean that you actually have pre-diabetes or anything. It could just be that reporting. And one thing that Bart usually says that I completely agree with is, how do you feel? Like, just because a level is telling you that, like he actually did a live stream with Dr. Kiltz, and he was, Dr. Kiltz was talking about his CAC score went from, I think, a 600 to a 700 in a couple years. And really, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't know, there could be differences, but you also don't know. I saw a video from Dr. Sean Baker that explained this. It could have slightly raised and actually be better than it was before. And that's something with how it could break down or something. I can't remember exactly because I'm not a doctor, so I don't know all those technical things, but that kind of explained that. But, that's kind of a thing, like, how do you feel? And I know Dr. Lisa Wiedemann did say that she hadn't been feeling as good either and that she was gaining some weight, but she might also have some hormonal things going on, and she might need to make tweaks without necessarily adding carbs. Now, she decided to do that, and that's fine. That's what she wants to do. But I don't know if she's tried everything. She says she has, but we don't know if she's really tried everything. I don't know. I mean, there's not necessarily a carnivore expert, right?
Right.
none of us are really 100% experts, so who knows? But I haven't seen his reaction video, so I'm going to have to definitely watch that. Have you had the chance to see it?
I have not, Brian. I've been so unbelievably busy. I haven't seen any of Rick's videos in 2 weeks. I did watch your video. It's funny that we're talking about this because the video that you put out today, I watched it a couple hours ago, and you actually talked about that in your video about how the longer you're carnivore, the longer your red blood cells live, and that can actually change your A1C reading. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Typically blood cells last about 30 days, but when you go carnivore and you fix your mitochondria and you fix your overall state of health, your red blood cells may live 40 days, 41 days, which is going to raise your A1C, but that's not a bad thing. So it's funny we're on that topic because you talked about that just a little earlier.
Yeah. And I guess Cynthia saw the video. She says Bart was more upset that she didn't respond to his questions for her when she stated in the video that no one asked her what she was doing. Interesting. Yeah, I got to the video that I put out today. I really contemplated that one. I almost didn't put it out there. I've been thinking about recording that for a while. I don't want to get into the whole, like, I feel like some of what people are doing out there is they're just doing clickbait and trying to get views. And I actually know somebody that actually told me, you know what? When I put that video out there, it wasn't entirely true, but it got a bunch of views. And I'm not going to say who, but I'm just saying. So I really struggled with doing that video because I don't want to be that person that's doing that kind of thing. If it means I'm not getting that many views, oh well, I'm not going to be that person that's going to piss people off because I'm telling them one thing and then you go to the video and it's not really true or whatever. And then the thing is, you have that title that might say something like, maybe I need to quit carnivore or something like that, or everybody's quitting carnivore. And then on social media, all these other people are jumping on saying all this stuff like people are quitting carnivore or whatever. Did you see this video? And they didn't even watch the video. They just looked at the title.
Yeah.
So that's another problem with the clickbait title. So I don't know. But anyway, Athenian Carnivore. Hello from Athens, Greece.
Welcome.
Wow. Good to see
you. I wonder
you.
what time is it in Athens, Greece right now? Who knows what time it is over there?
I don't know.
You can probably Google that. Brian, I'm like you as far as the I haven't done a like everybody's quitting carnivore title in any of my videos because everybody's doing it. And to your point, people will see the title and maybe they were thinking about doing keto or carnivore to improve their health. And they'll see 4 or 5 or 6 videos in their feed saying everybody's quitting. And they'll say, well, gosh, I don't want to do that if everybody's quitting. And they'll never watch the videos to realize that it's clickbait. So I've avoided that exact same thing for that exact same reason. My video title today was, Is Carnivore Impossible? And that was really kind of speaking, is it impossible for some people to stick to it long term? And that's true. I mean, that was true before this whole clickbait thing started because it's been true for me for 2.5 years. So if you watch my video, that's kind of, maybe bumped up against the clickbait stuff, but it was an actual, if you watch the video, it's exactly what I talk about is why is it so hard for smart, intelligent people, and I'm including myself in that, barely, to stick to something that we know works so well. Why does it feel at times to me and to others like it's impossible? But that's been a whole clickbait thing. I mean, my gosh, I've seen all the doctors, all the main influencers, even some of my favorite people have put that as a title of a video only to watch it and realize that the video, that the title's not actually accurate to what they say in the video.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Going back to your video earlier, I think that just shows the difference in people. Like people are different. And that's why you can't just watch somebody's videos and think like it's going to work exactly the same way for me. You have to figure out your own identity of how it's going to work for you. Like you mentioned in your video, there are people like Harry Mann who basically 3 years have not eaten a single carb from a plant material, right?
Right.
And it's I'm not going to say it's easy because I'm not in his shoes, but it seems like it's easier for him. But somebody like you or me that seems to have a bigger carb addiction, or Mitch, old guy carnivore, has a
Right.
carb addiction, we have to try and stay away from it. And it's more of a struggle for us because of those carb addictions.
Exactly.
So,
And those addictions are real, just like an alcoholic or just like a drug addict. Those are very real. I used to think when people said that drug addiction was the illness, I thought, oh yeah, they're just making that up. But now that I find myself dealing with an addiction to carbs, I may have judged them too soon, because addiction truly is, it's tough. It's truly tough.
yeah. So Paul says Bart also stated that the rising A1C is not only the longer living red blood cells. Yeah. Okay. And Cynthia says he also went on about the fact that Chafee said she may be doing things like dairy. He just listed some reasons why she may be having problems. Yep. Not saying that was specifically her. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Karen is here. Hello, Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Oh. Yeah. Some people have no carb addictions. I think some people have no addictions. That's true. That's like with alcohol. You get some people like they have to completely stay away from it. You know, they go through Alcoholics Anonymous and completely stay away from it. They can't touch it because of their addiction to it. And some people are just more addicted to things in general than other people. And then there's other people, though, they can drink alcohol here and there and it not affect them. They don't feel like they have to drink it all the time, you know? But, you know, some people that they have like this is something like my wife has said before, an addictive personality, you know, and it's right. Some people like they seem to get addicted to all kinds of different things. And then other people don't seem to have that at all. So it's interesting. And again, it goes back to the whole point of you have to kind of figure out your own journey because everybody is different. You know, it's just the way it works.
Brian, I'll give you a great example of that. All my adult life, from the time I was about 18, 19 years old, I could have a couple of beers here, a couple of beers there, maybe a Long Island tea occasionally. Then I might go a year, 2 years, and not have another beer, and then have one beer with my dinner, and then go 6 months. And there are some people that they had a little bit of beer, especially young, when their brain's still developing. They become extreme alcoholics. My cousin Bobby died at 47, 48 years old of cirrhosis of the liver because he could not stay away from alcohol. And he worked in the hotel and restaurant industry, so he was around alcohol all the time. And it cost him his marriage, his children, and eventually it cost him his life. For me, we're cousins. We have similar genetics in there. I could have one beer every 2 years and be just fine. But you talk about addictive personalities. Let me give you another kind of funny anecdote. You guys know I've been doing these AI, these artificial intelligence songs on my videos. And so I have an entire playlist of songs that I've made on my phone from these AI songs. And there's only like 9 or 10 songs in my playlist. And I listen to them every single day on my way to work, during work, on the way home from work, at night when I go to bed. I'm addicted to them. I can't seem to make them wear out, you know. Back in the day, we'd put the needle on the record player. The record would eventually wear out if you played it enough. But with digital music, it doesn't. And I have not turned on the regular radio in probably 7 months. I've been listening to these crazy AI songs that I created using, you know, the AI stuff. And I can't seem to turn on anything else. So that's, I want to say, a nebulous addiction. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, the advertisers that are advertising on radio aren't reaching me because I don't listen to the radio anymore. So maybe it's a downfall for them. If I go to a casino, and my wife and I from time to time, we'll go to Virginia, we'll go, you know, to Pennsylvania. We may stop in at a casino. My wife can play $20. She'll play a nickel at a time or dime or 25 cents at a time, win a little bit, lose a little bit, and then she's ready to go. I'm all in, man. I'll be betting $5, $6, $8 a time, money I don't really have. Win a little bit, then lose all that, then lose more. So for me, I have to just completely abstain from casinos. Now, I work hard for my money, and I understand the value of a dollar. But that addiction, that addictive personality comes out in things like that. Even though I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I've had people in my family that have died from lung cancer that smoked up until the day they died. My stepfather, He tried 100 times to quit smoking, tried the patch, tried hypnosis, tried everything, could not get away from it, and it killed him. So it's funny how there's different things that people get addicted to. To your point, Brian, we're not all the same. Carbs is just one of those things that I guess I'll be fighting my entire life, but I'm going to win the battle eventually.
So let me ask you this, Johnny.
Mhm.
For someone that has an addictive personality, can we turn that around and use that to our benefit with carnivore and make that addictiveness a healthy eating on carnivore? So maybe it's pretty much eat like the same things most of the time or something to get you in a pattern that gives you that addictiveness on the good side instead of the bad side. Is that something we can do, you think?
I think so, Brian, because the only thing I eat for breakfast anymore on the days I eat breakfast, which now is most days, I've actually gone to 2 meals a day pretty much exclusively. But I eat bacon and eggs. I fry up about 6 pieces of bacon. I scramble 6 eggs in the bacon grease, and I eat it every single day. That video that I did a couple weeks ago where I had the hamburger meat with the cheese and the sour cream and the jalapeno peppers, I had that for supper tonight. I have it all the time. And my wife's like, aren't you sick of that yet? And the truth of the matter is, no, I enjoy it. It's just enough of what I'm looking for from a taste bud kind of thing that it gives me the satisfaction. And I've probably, Brian, I've probably eaten that meal 16 of the last 30 days, 17 of the last 30 days, that exact same meal. But the bacon and eggs has been probably 100 days now. I've had that every single day. So yeah, to your point, I think you can make it a positive. Some people feel like they need tons of variety in their life, and I get addicted to something, whether it be bacon and eggs or AI music, and I just want to do it over and over again. So yeah, I think maybe if we can help people relearn or reposition that addictive personality or addictive traits into positive addictive traits, then it can definitely be a benefit. One more example, Brian, if I can, when I first started this, when you and I first became friends, you remember I was doing push-ups every day. I would go online and I'd post I was doing 25, 30, 35 push-ups multiple times a day, every day. Well, now my latest addiction is sprinting. And of course, I went sprinting again today. And if I had time every day, I would probably sprint 3 or 4 days a week. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but I get this high or this euphoria after I do it. And I'll keep that dopamine hit. I keep looking for it every day. So now I'm addicted to sprinting. So there you go. That's a positive addiction, if you will, until your best friend pulls his hamstring, and then maybe not so much.
Well, I got to tell you, that one day I sprinted, I got that dopamine hit too. And I really was like, man, this feels great. Like, this is something I really want to do. Of course, then I tore my hamstring. So that's going better though, by the way. It's getting a lot better. So one of the stretches I'm doing is touch your toes type of thing. And I don't remember if I mentioned this last week or not, but I was doing them for the last, I don't know, couple weeks. But really in the last week, I think I am, and I don't have the flexibility to touch my toes. I'll just say that right now. But
Right.
I'm kind of out of shape, 51 years old, right? Almost 52. But I am at the point now that I am closer to touching my toes than I was before the injury. So
Wow.
my flexibility is getting a little bit better. So I'm getting closer. I'm not at that point that I want to run yet. I'm afraid to do that yet still.
Yeah.
Maybe another month. We'll see. But I'm getting closer. I'm getting better. I got a couple things I wanted to bring up here. Let's chats. Rick says, if some carnivores are having problems, why do some of us maintain a stable weight no matter how much we eat? I personally, this is my opinion, but I think it has a lot to do with a person's health. And then there's some other factors in there as well, which are probably more around health. But, the healthier you are, the easier you're going to be able to maintain the weight, not gain weight. If you needed to lose weight, you're probably not healthy to begin with, but you can probably lose weight better, faster than somebody that also has a lot of health issues and is trying to lose weight. But I think that has a lot to do with it. And a lot of times when you see people struggling with losing weight, it can be a lot of different factors, but it could really just be that they need to heal a little bit more. And I've heard Dr. Anthony Chafee talk about this too. Give it some time. You just might need to heal. But there are other factors that you don't necessarily know unless you start asking the person, like, are they getting proper sleep? If they're only getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep, that could be derailing them, and they might be gaining weight or not able to lose weight if they need to lose weight or whatever because of that. They might have stress in their life. That is a huge thing that, it'll bump up your cortisol and you're going to have trouble with getting rid of body fat. So there are different things that I believe are more health related that will have some people feel like carnivore isn't working for them. And it's because they need to fix some of these other things too, heal, whatever it is. So what do you think about that, Johnny?
I think you're right. But to answer Rick's question specifically, let's think about Rick having been a carnivore for 42 years. He's the guiding light for the rest of us, really. Rick's kidneys, his heart, his liver, his pancreas, and his endothelium, which is the inside of your arteries, if you will, probably has no visceral fat. I bet if Rick went and had an MRI done, I guarantee you there's little to no visceral fat. So his body is already healed. It will never got sick to start with. Those of us that have a fatty liver, and if your waist to height ratio, and I don't remember what the numbers are, but you measure your waist and then you measure your height, and if it's close to 1-to-1, then the odds are you do still have visceral fat in your liver. You have fatty liver. So you can heal a lot of things, but until you heal your liver, it's really, really tough for some people, especially older people who are going to have a little bit harder time losing weight anyway, to really burn through the fat because of the shape of their liver. Also, to Rick's point, so I can go binge on donuts and a Diet Coke, that makes no sense, but that's what I do. A couple of donuts and a Diet Coke, thinking the Diet Coke will somehow offset the donuts. And I'll gain 3 or 4 pounds that one day because of the carbs. For every 1 gram of carb that you take in, your body holds 3 to 4 grams of water to suspend that carbohydrate in. So when you quit eating carbs, you pee a lot. So when I go a couple of days with having no carbs, I get back on track. I'll lose 5 to 7 or 8 pounds in a matter of 2 or 3 days because I'm peeing off all the water that my body was holding on to because of those carbohydrates. So by Rick avoiding all the carbohydrates, he never has that water weight gain that can cause a 7 to 10 pound fluctuation in just a few days on the scale. For somebody, the three of us, me, you, and Rick, we're all over 6 foot tall. Of course, Rick is like 6'6", but it doesn't take much carbs to really put the weight on when you think about the water that your body holds on to for that. And vice versa, when you don't eat the carbs, your body's going to expel that water. So the scale is going to go down pretty dramatically. That's how I lost 4.4 pounds between Saturday and today. I didn't eat any carbs, and I peed off all the excess water that I gained in that week of binge. Not all of it, but some of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think this is a perfect time to put this quote in. I saw this quote earlier today, and I'm going to read it. This is from on Facebook, somebody named Carnivore Daryl. I don't know if you know who that is, but they're friends with me on Facebook, and they posted this. And I thought this was very good, and I think it kind of fits in here with talking about how healthy somebody is and so forth. The quote is, "One day your body will become your priority, whether by choice or by consequence. Trust me, repair costs more than discipline." And I think this was a good spot to put that in because, we're kind of talking about someone's health and how that may affect their ability to do well on carnivore. The longer you waited to worry about your body and try and fix your body, probably the longer it's going to take to get healthy and, be able to thrive on carnivore. You might struggle for a while on carnivore. I need to catch us up on some comments here.
Yep.
Our friend from Athens, Greece says exactly, former alcoholic, plant-based, occasionally vegetarian, sugar carb addict here. Went carnivore, only beef, pork, and chicken, ghee, salt, and water. All my health problems gone, never going back again. That is great. Congratulations.
Yep.
And John had said, my struggle is coffee and cream. I know the dairy is affecting my weight, but I haven't been able to kick the addiction. And, that's an interesting one too, because dairy can be somewhat controversial because some people have trouble with dairy and some people don't seem to. At least they don't seem to. But I think that dairy definitely at least causes people to not lose weight when they're trying to lose weight, if not gain weight. So that is an interesting thing. And I think that there's a lot of people that have that problem, John, with coffee and probably adding cream in and so forth. And they try, and it's hard. I mean, coffee is addicting, just like sugar is, and just like alcohol is and other drugs and so forth. It's really hard when you get addicted to stuff like that. It really is. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yep.
Rick says that he thinks he's addicted to iguana, and I have to agree with him on that. That he is. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna skip over
Again, a positive addiction, especially to help control the iguana population down there in Miami where Rick is.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Peachy Pam in Maryland is here. Hello.
Hey, Peachy Pam.
Yeah.
You see,
so
Rick's.
Which
I'm
one?
sorry. Go ahead and read Rick's, and then after Rick's, do Paul right above that one.
Okay. Rick says that if he eats fruit from his yard for a week or two with his meals, he'll actually lose weight. That's interesting because Rick is pretty thin to begin with. All right, the one above it. Ratio should be equal to or less than 0.5. What's the ratio for?
Waist to height ratio.
Oh,
so if you have you have a 72-inch waist and you're 72 inches tall, then you're 1-to-1. So that would be a relatively large belly. So if it's like Peter's saying, Paul is saying, if it's 0.5, if your waist circumference is half your height, then you're probably pretty good. Anything above that usually is indicative of a fatty liver.
So Rick is above that, 6'6", which is 78 inches with a 34 waist.
Yeah.
So that is less than half. So he's perfect.
Yeah.
I am 76 inches tall. I'm 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember what my waist was the last time I measured it. I can tell you I'm not there because it was in the 40s.
Yeah.
I need to look real quick. Let me see if I can figure out what it was. I think it was like 42 or something like that, which isn't horrible like it used to be. It used to be like 50 something.
Yeah.
Do I have it in here?
Hey, Paul, while Brian's looking that up, is that measuring around where your belt line would be, or maybe measuring where your belly button is? Because there's a good difference between my belly button and where my belt sits. I don't know exactly where to do that measurement.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of times when I talk about my waist measurement, I'm talking about where my belt is. And my wife's like, yeah, but your belt's at your belly button. I'm like, no, it's not. And she's like, well, it is on a woman. I'm like, but I'm not a woman. I'm a guy. It's not the same. So that's a good question. Is it around the waist or is it around the belly button?
And I bet for Rick, it's probably not any different, right? You think with somebody like Rick that doesn't have that beer belly, if you will, or that dad bod, anybody like Rick, there's probably not a lot of difference between the circumference around Rick's belly button and his belt line. Where you and I, Brian, both are still struggling with that Dunlap disease, where your belly's done lapped over your belt.
Yeah. Dunlap. So Athenian, who told us, had big changes with going to Carnivore and never going back, right? He's only been on Carnivore for 5 months. And he's already cured IBS, skin problems, allergies, histamine intolerance, brain fog, bipolar disorder, and pre-diabetes. Those are some great accomplishments. Awesome.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Peachy Pam says, and the older you get, the harder it is to get back on track. Yes, I think that is true. That's like the whole thing, like with the hamstring injury that I have, right? The older you are, the harder it is, the longer it takes to recuperate.
However, Brian, you have absolutely positively bucked the trend. You are so, and we've beat this to death the last couple of weeks, but I'll be brief on it. You are so far ahead than where either one of us thought you would be, because today's 5 weeks. It's only been 5 weeks today. And would you say you're 90%?
Oh yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I'm doing squats. I'm doing like the toe raises. I'm going up and down steps really good. I noticed last week I was saying that when I walk, I'm still kind of a little bit slower. I noticed in the last couple of days, I'm moving at more of a normal pace with my walk. So I'd say I'm doing really good at this point. In fact, I'm at a point that I think I want to start doing some of my physical therapy instead of just body weight, but actually doing like squats with, dumbbells in my hand, or doing like some leg lifts with some light weight, that kind of stuff. So I am doing pretty good there. Bride's Biscuit is here. So hello.
Hey, Bride's Biscuit. I'm looking at my phone because there's a guy that I follow. Brian, who's the guy? He's an older gentleman. I don't think he's in Florida. Kind of got gray hair, gray mustache and beard. He's lost like 300 or 400 pounds. I can't remember that his channel has a weird name. His channel's really not about carnivore. We've talked about him before. His apartment burned down. He and his wife had to move into temporary housing. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that's Dave. That's Dave Reed. He's in California. He's in Canada. Sorry, Canada.
That's right. So I was trying to put him in Florida. I was trying to give him an upgrade. Anyway, he's carnivore and he's doing amazing. Did you see he had a really, really bad burn on his wrist, and it has healed. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was probably a 2nd-degree burn. It was pretty bad. And the speed at which his burn injury has healed, because he's a carnivore, versus had he not gone to this way of eating, that would have been a skin graft and a year's worth of healing probably. And he's I think 3 weeks out now or something from that, maybe 4 weeks out. And he had a picture today on Facebook, and I don't know if the picture was taken today, but his wrist, this huge burn on his wrist, is almost completely healed. So it's just amazing to see your story, Dave's story, and how fast the body can actually heal itself when you get the junk out of the way.
Yep. Paul says it's the belly button, according to Dr. Barry, by the way. Yeah. That means I'm probably like 2 inches or so worse than I thought I was, but that's okay.
Yeah. Me too. But it gives you a goal to work towards, right?
Yeah. Here you go. I used to measure people for tuxedo. It is supposed to be around the belly button. I know. Been doing it for 25 years.
Thank you, Target. Appreciate that.
So you guys are making me have to tell my wife that she was right. Dang it.
Dang it.
She's always right anyway. I'm usually the one that's wrong, so that's okay. Rick says my waist and belly are about the same, except at 3D.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're really healthy, right? When they're both about the same.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah, look at Cynthia put. And you see what Cynthia put about playing us at twice the speed, so we sound like chipmunks?
Oh. Sometimes I like enjoying listening to twice the speed. Yeah. This is an interesting one with Rick. I must be very lucky to have never injured a muscle, tendon, or joint. It's because he's been carnivore for so long. This is something I've thought for quite a while, and I'll say this. I haven't said it in a video, but I say this at home all the time watching sports. Most of these people eat a completely different diet than people that played sports 50, 60 years ago, right? And there's so many injuries and huge bad injuries now. And I think part of it is because their bodies are so inflamed. They're doing physical activity, which is making their body even more inflamed, and they're getting hurt. And a lot of times they're probably my earphones keep wanting to drop out. But a lot of times they're probably losing or not recovering as quickly as they should and getting back into the sport and re-injuring themselves or hurting something else because they're maybe favoring the spot that they injured and so forth. And then I think we see a lot of that today, a lot more injuries. And I think it has a lot to do with diet and inflammation in the body that we didn't have before. So to Rick's point, Rick, who's been doing carnivore for so long, has little inflammation at all. Like, yes, every time you eat, your body creates a little bit of inflammation. That's like a normal scientific thing that happens, right? But in Rick's case, he doesn't have that extra inflammation. So he doesn't tend to get hurt. Just like he doesn't get sick that much. When he does get sick, it's not as bad. And that's a lot of carnivores, I think, see that. I think that it's gotten better for me as time has gone on. I'm now over 3 years on the carnivore diet. When I first was on carnivore, I think I was still getting sick a little bit more often. So I'm not getting sick quite as often anymore. And when I do, it doesn't seem to be as bad. And I think that's just because of your body being able to handle things better with less inflammation that it's trying to fight.
And I'm going to give another shout out to Rick too. One, because he lives in Florida, but I think about the effects of vitamin D. Rick, living in the Sunshine State down there in Florida, Rick is outside a lot. He works outside a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. But Rick gets a ton of natural vitamin D because of the sun. And that vitamin D has got to play a part in bone and tendon and ligament strength as well. So Rick's got it. He's got an advantage because his diet's been so clean for 42 years. And the fact that he gets lots of vitamin D from the sun, Rick's outside a lot. And so I think all that lends itself to Rick being one of the healthiest people that we'll ever know.
I'm glad you brought that up about sunlight, because that is one I forgot to mention when I was talking earlier about reasons why some people might struggle because they're on carnivore at first because they need to get healthier. I talked about the sleep, obviously I talked about stress. I didn't talk about sunlight, but that's another big one. Like if you're lacking certain nutrients like magnesium, and you're not producing enough vitamin D, which the more you're in the sun, your body produces vitamin D, then, those things kind of play into it. So I think that the sun is another piece outside of carnivore that is very important for people to be healthy.
Yeah. Brian, I want to give a quick shout out. Target Prime Rib said that he was at 500 subscribers. Well, you're at 501. Now you're at 502. I just subscribed, Target. I thought I was subscribed. I cannot believe I wasn't subscribed to your channel. So I just subscribed too. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Target Prime Rib here on YouTube, give them a sub, right? If you see this video now or when it's on the replay, rewatch, go to Target Prime Rib on YouTube and give this gentleman give him a sub. He needs it. He's doing great. And he's with us all the time. He's loyal. And I love loyalty. So Target, you got another subscriber with me. And I'll watch some of your videos too and give you some watch hours there too.
And here's his link.
Oh, there you go. Right there.
To it. I am not subscribed either. Huh. Well, now he's at 503.
Yeah, 503. We're going to get you there, Target. Hang in there.
Is he on my list? My database?
I don't remember if he was or not.
I thought he was. I need to go in now and see. While I'm looking that up, keep us going, talking.
Well, all right. Let's see here. Paul said a while ago, write down what you want, your goals, and let go of the things that you do not want. That's a great idea. Journaling. I used to think journaling was for nerds or whatever. There was no value in that. But the older I get, hopefully the wiser I'm getting and the more, I'm starting to look at things that I used to would just pass off as hooey as legitimate. For example, grounding, sunshine. But journaling, like Paul's saying here, that might be a strategy, Paul, that I can employ. I'm going to do that. This is Wednesday. I'll report back next Wednesday. I've got notebooks and pens and paper everywhere. My wife's a retired school teacher. So we've got tons of this stuff around the house. I'm going to start journaling, just writing down every day. This is what I want today to look like. This is what victory will look like today. And then maybe write down the things that I don't want. And then, and let be my guide, because if I write it down, I'll remember it. So that's a great strategy there. Thank you, Paul, for that. That's great. I'm going to do it.
He is not in my list, so I just added him. I'm going to have to do
Awesome.
a new revision and send it out. Let's see. All right, John subscribed. So
Good
that
job.
puts him at 504, right?
Yep.
Yep, 504. Sweet.
And the good news is, Target, Brian and I both get between 80 and 100 rewatches usually on our videos. This one may get a little bit more because we get so much interaction here. So hopefully as people watch this video, maybe they'll subscribe as well, especially since Brian's got the link in the comments and we're talking about it. So hopefully you maybe get you up to 550 or 600 pretty soon. I'll give you a shout out on Facebook as well. See if I can get some subscribers for you on Facebook. But subs is great, but you want us for people to watch your content. You can have all the subs you want, but when people actually watch your content because you're giving them something of value, which you do, that'll help a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Let me see what he's up to. Actually, I should share. I can share this so people can see it, right?
Sure, yeah, I think you should.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me share screen. All right, let's see if it shows up. You see it? Yeah. All right. There we go. He's at 505 right now. So let's see what we can get him up to by the end of this live stream.
Because if you haven't subscribed to Target Prime Rib, check him out. Give him a sub, and then share. Go on there, watch his video, find a video he has that you enjoy or you like or gives you good value, and then share it on all your socials. Share it on everything. Let's get this guy up to 1,000 subs before the end of the year.
Yep. And you know what? That's a good point. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. What is the best thing we can do to help a grassroots effort? I can't talk. Grassroots effort with Carnivore, right? Everybody that's got a YouTube channel out there, put videos out, and then we all have to watch those videos. We have to like those videos and share those videos with our friends, people that we think, our family, people that we think might benefit from that. Share it on social media, and Target Prime Rib's case, go to his page, his YouTube channel. You can share that. You can put that link on social media, like on Facebook, and say, hey, this guy's got a good carnivore channel. Go check it out. And those are the types of things that we can do as a community to help get more awareness out there and get more people watching and so forth. And because what's going to happen is there's a lot of people out there that don't know that certain channels exist, right?
Right.
But they would watch them because they watch the channels they know exist and they like those. So if they start going to those other channels, and they start watching those channels too, the YouTube algorithm kicks in and they start getting more views. They start getting more impressions on their videos to other people because they're getting more views. So now with those other impressions, they might pick up more views from somewhere else. And now they're picking up new people that maybe they can also bring on to other carnivore YouTubers and so forth. And it just brings the whole grassroots effort bigger and bigger. So that's the big thing that we got to do as a community is you can even comment, because that YouTube likes that when there's comments on videos. And it could be something quick, just like great video or something like that, right? And then share their links with other people that you think might be interested in those. And that's going to help all of us grow and make the movement even stronger.
Yep. There can't be too many carnivore channels, I think, because there's 300 and 330 or 340 million people in America. Then you think about Canada, the UK, all of Europe. I mean, Dave Mack's over there in Japan, and look how many people he's affected. His channel is affected worldwide. So it's not just America. I mean, we got somebody from Athens, Greece watching us right now. So the more channels, the more content that's out there. And the more testimonials, like the guy from Athens earlier said, all the things that have gotten better in his life, that testimonial is going to touch somebody. They may not see my channel or Brian's channel, but they may see that channel and say, wait a minute, this guy cured all of this. And I'm assuming it's a guy. This guy cured all of this just by changing what he ate. And you'd be surprised. So we can be the grassroots movement to heal humanity, because humanity is sick. I can tell you, because the line of work I'm in, I'm seeing people in their late 40s. I had a guy the other day, took him to hospice, morbidly obese, diabetic, liver failure, kidney failure, 36 years old. And if he's alive right now, it'd be an absolute miracle. And the only reason he's in that shape is because the poor choices he made and what he put in his mouth and lack of movement. 36 years old. The youngest one I've had so far that was in a bad way, not from a cancer diagnosis, but just from complete metabolic dysfunction. And I see 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds day in and day out, every day of my life. That's what I do for a living. People that could adopt, maybe not carnivore, but at least keto, or get them head in that direction, could really turn their entire life around. So I think as the carnivore community, Brian, myself, Target Prime Rib, John, everybody, Rick, everybody, we have our responsibility to try to share these anecdotes, because one is an anecdote, but a million becomes a trend. And if people can see the trend of healing by changing what they eat, then maybe, just maybe, we can help to heal humanity going forward, which might put me out of a job, but I'll be retiring in 3 years anyway.
I think also the other key thing is I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of us have come to carnivore because we had different health issues and whatever, but we had different health issues. And someone may watch Target's video and see something that he had health-wise going on that relates to their health issue. And they might be like, oh, I have that health issue, I'm going to pay attention to this. Where they might have watched my video, they didn't have the same health issues, so they didn't pay attention, right? So that's key too. We all have different health issues, and if we all talk about what we've fixed on our health, we might every once in a while pick somebody up. That like I have the AFib thing, right? Every once in a while, I'll get somebody will email me, or they'll do a comment back like, "Oh, I have AFib. I'm gonna start watching your videos or something." Or, you know what? I had AFib. I started watching your videos. I started doing the carnivore diet, and I've been seeing improvement now too. Those are actually the greatest when you see stuff like that. But so those are the things that happen. So that's another key thing with it. Target says he would love to have each of us on his channel, and I think that's great. Reach out to me, and I'll definitely come on your channel. Let's see. Here's another subscribe. Let's see where he's at now. He was at 505. Let's see where he's at. We're slowly getting him up. It's a slow fight, right? But it is.
Oh my gosh.
We're at 507 right now. So he's gotten 2 more. So there you go.
And Target, that's I put my email address in the comments. If you see my email address down there, reach out to me an email. I'll come on your channel. Then I'll have you on my channel. I have 3,355 subscribers, and some of my videos do pretty well. I'll have you on my channel, and you have me on your channel, and we'll both give our testimonial and see if we can't reach a lot of people, to help spread the word and get you some more subs and some more watch time.
Yep. Target says my carniversary is on 1/1/26, so that would be cool. I am doing more lives while staying at my sister's. All right.
Perfect.
Carnivore staying at a house that is not carnivore. Yes, I know what that is like. I'm the only one in my family that does carnivore, so John had to run. He said good night. So
see you, John.
Good to see you though again, John.
Fantastic seeing him again. What a great guy.
Yep. Yep. Bride's Biscuit subbed. So I think that was where we got to 507. All right. My story in short draft is have diabetes that got so bad I had my toes amputated and was even paralyzed for about 3 months.
Wow.
And I think I read.
want to have you on my channel.
Oh, that was a different person. So how is your diabetes now? You said your carniversary is on January 1st, so you're closing in on 1 year? Is that what it is?
Mhm.
So let us know how your diabetes is going now. You've been 9 months. That's a pretty good amount of time. Hopefully it's improved. Let's see. I am a guy that never had heard about carnivore. Searching YouTube for answers to my problems, found out about it. I sharing to help others like me and make the movement strong. Yep. That's exactly what we need to do.
Yep. As a community, that's our responsibility. And thank you. God bless you for sharing your story and coming in here.
Yep. Matter of fact, shameless plug here. If you haven't already, hit like on our videos right now to help this video go more viral.
Exactly.
Not necessarily viral, but just to get more people out there for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes Brian and I think one of our best videos that we did, our podcast that went out there, Brian got like maybe right at 200 rewatches, and I had like 180. That was our best video. That just means that many more people got to see, our content plus all the testimonials that show up in the comments. So we just got to get this thing to spread. It's a slow grind, but we can't give up. We can't stop. Brian and I are in this thing for the long haul. We're committed, both personally in our lives with our diet and exercise, and in this podcast to try to reach as many people as we can for as long as we can.
Yep. Paul says Grandma's Crochet Corner did a crockpot video. It went to 10,000 views.
That's amazing.
I don't know. I know you had a couple of videos that went really high. I'm trying to remember my highest, I think, is like around 13,000. This is long form, not shorts, because I do have some shorts that are over 100,000 views. But most of those are not carnivore people, probably. So,
right.
But I've had a few videos, long form, that have gone over like 10,000. Like one, I think, is like around 13,000. But it seems so hard to get that. Like, you have to be just right. It has to be the right time and everything for that video, because it's so funny. Sometimes I have a video that I think is going to do really good and it gets like 50 views. And I'm like, dang, I thought that was going to be good. And then there's other times I put out a video and I'm like, this is not my best, but I need to get something out. It's been a couple of days. I need to put a video out. I put it out there and it gets 500 views. And I'm like, how did it get so many views? It wasn't that good. It's so random. It's so weird. Oh, here you go. This diabetes A1C, he went from 8.9 when he started to 6.2. It may have gone up a bit, but have cut my insulin to a quarter of what I was taking before. That's great progress.
Right. It's amazing.
That really is.
Life-changing and possibly life-saving.
Yeah. Paul had to go, so goodbye. Nice having you here tonight again. Cynthia asked if that was her brisket recipes, but I think Paul left, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Prize Biscuit caught up during the two times on the speed on the video. Caught up. No more chipmunks. Hope I get to watch at least a minute of live. Yeah, we'll be live for a little bit longer yet. Don't worry.
And feel free to watch my videos in 2x or whatever, especially when I'm sprinting, so I don't look so unbelievably slow.
Oh, come on. It's not that slow.
Yeah.
The only time it looks slow is if you watch a Dr. Barry video right before it or something. Did you see his latest sprinting one?
Oh, you mean, you said Dr. Barry, but you meant Dr. Baker.
I'm sorry, Dr. Baker. Yes, Dr. Baker. The bees here. I got confused. Yes, Dr. Baker. He is a beast, man. He's what, 6'5" or 6'6"? And I mean, he's been lifting like his entire life. Like that's the thing. Like some people, they look at people like Dr. Baker and they're like, oh, I'm going to eat carnivore diet, I'm going to look like that. No, he'll be the first person to tell you he has worked hard at working out his entire life. That's why he looks like that. But man, that guy, he's what I think he said he's 58 or 59 years old.
He's 58. I think he was born in January and I was born in March. So he's just about 2 months older than me. He'll be
All right, so
59 in January.
He's 58. He's 6'5". He's absolutely ripped, and he's out there running sprints, and he looks great doing it. He doesn't look like I do when I run a sprint.
Me. And he can jump. That's called plyos, Brian, where you jump up onto like a 4-foot high platform from the ground. You just jump up. He had a video of him doing some of those not long ago, and unbelievable. I mean, he could enter the senior games. I hope that he will enter the senior games in 2026. I'm going to send him an email about that because I believe he would have a chance at gold, even in, and he's going to tower over the other competitors because most people aren't going to be chiseled 6'5", but he would have a legitimate shot of making it to the at least to the nationals, maybe to the worlds. I believe just based on his times. Yeah. His times are 2.5 seconds faster than mine, which mine are slow, but I mean, I've been working at this for almost 2 years now, and he's still 2.5 seconds faster than me. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
Did you see the video he did? I can't remember if it was high school or college track athletes that he ran against.
Yeah,
he didn't do that bad.
Not bad at all. And he was 40 years older than the second oldest competitor.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. So Cynthia says you should hear Bart at 2 times the speed. Now that is humorous. So I'm assuming we're talking about Bart K, Professor Bart K.
Yeah.
When I run, I look like the housewife in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Oh gosh. My 1126 interview is with Jen Mann. Okay, so that's Carrie's husband or wife.
Yep.
I can't talk tonight. Carrie's wife.
Yep.
Johnny has a great attitude. Yes, I agree.
Appreciate it. Somebody, I think it might have been Cynthia, that might have told me in the comments of my last video that they could look at my face and tell that I had probably fallen off the plan, that you can't hide it for long. Your face starts swelling up, from eating too many carbs and putting on weight. Which brings me to a point, Brian. Have you weighed yourself lately? Because your face looks smaller. Have you been on a scale lately?
The last time was about 2 weeks ago, and I had lost a few pounds. Let's put it this way. So I gained, I think it was 30 pounds that I gained last year at Christmas time. I could be wrong. It might've been 20, but for some reason I'm thinking it was 30. And it's taken me the entire year to lose that weight back. But the interesting thing is, since the injury that I had, so in like 5 weeks, I've lost probably half of that weight. It's been faster since then, and I'm not sure why. The only thing I can think of is I've been taking in more creatine because I've been supplementing it, and collagen. That's the only thing I can think of, because I'm thinking like those things are going to help with my muscle repair of the torn hamstring, right? So I don't know if that has changed something, but that's like the only parameters that are different. I don't know what else it could be.
When I saw your thumbnail for your video today, and then I watched the video, and I'm looking at you now, I can see a difference in your face. Your face looks slimmer than it did just a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's a noticeable difference. If you say you've lost some weight, that certainly explains it.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's harder for me to tell because I see my face every day, right?
Yeah.
So it's harder to tell. Yeah. That's why it's good to take pictures and compare every so often to see how you're doing. Matter of fact, I think that's more important. That doing measurements, we were talking about your waist measurement, your belly button measurement, doing things like that, I think is more important. And measuring how your health, how you feel overall is more important than the weight on a scale. Excuse me. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
I think, and I've heard this from other people too, that carnivore can be good for weight loss, but carnivore isn't really a weight loss thing. It's a health thing. Like it gets you healthy, right? If you have different health issues, it gets you, it helps to improve, and in some cases get rid of those health conditions that you had. That's the big thing that I feel with carnivore. That is the number one thing with it. People tend to look at things a lot of times as that they want to lose weight. But why does somebody want to lose weight? Probably because they don't feel good, right? They're big. And I used to be that way. And I was sore all the time and depressed and didn't have energy and all that. And those were all health things. And yeah, the first thing I said, just like a lot of people, is I need to lose weight. But that's just a subset of being unhealthy, right?
Right.
If you actually improve your health, you're going to get to the weight that you need to. And the big thing is improving your health. You know, you feel better. And that's what I feel is the big, strong thing about carnivore is it's more about getting healthy than worrying so much about the weight. And I think sometimes that some people get caught up on the weight thing and then they say, you know what, carnivore's not working for me. I've heard people say this. I've seen other videos out there where people say this, like carnivore was great in that I felt great. I fixed this health issue. I fixed that health issue, but it wasn't work for me. Well, why wasn't it working for you? Because I didn't lose any weight.
And the irony is a lot of those people. Well, let me back up real quick. So I've seen, Brian, you may have seen it too. I think Dave Mack has interviewed several people, and I think Carrie's interviewed a few people that were dramatically underweight. Some people even had eating disorders like anorexia, went on the carnivore diet and actually gained weight, which was their intention. And there are people in some of the carnivore groups on Facebook that I'm in that they went on carnivore because they were underweight. They were basically malnourished, especially if they were vegan or vegetarian or doing like a lot of fasting and they didn't have a lot of excess fat on their body because of eating disorders or whatever. They go on carnivore, fix their brain, and begin to putting on weight, which usually is in the form of skeletal muscle, So yeah, it's not necessarily a weight loss diet, because if it was, that people wouldn't go on it and gain weight, those that need to gain weight. But to your point, Brian, it's to fix the issues. It's to put your body back in something called homeostasis, where your body is where it's supposed to be. We're not all supposed to weigh 125 pounds, but we're not all supposed to weigh 500 pounds either. So whatever your body, whatever your normal is for your body, from your genetics, I think if you go carnivore and can be a little more consistent than I've been able to be lately, your body will find that homeostasis and kind of get where it needs to be, and you'll feel your best.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally agree. What did I say? Oh, here we go. I did catch Bart's live today. Enjoyed it. He was on point and insightful. I really like watching Bart's videos. I know you have to kind of get past the character he plays, and I can tell you, I know him outside of YouTube. That is a complete character. Okay. He is not like that in real life, but he is so knowledgeable watching those videos. If you get past that character thing, if that's a problem for you, try to get past that, because there's so much knowledge you can gain from Bart. He is just amazing the way that he is able to break down different things and explain it. And there's a lot of people can be like really smart, technical with a certain field of something, but they can't break it down easily to people to understand. And that's something he can do. He's great at. Yes, it's for healing, but losing 80 pounds was a great side effect. That's true. And if you do that healing and you do have a bunch of weight to lose, you are going to lose the weight. So, yeah.
Exactly.
You got it. Truth must be spread worldwide, all across the globe. I was sick and miserable, and now I'm healthy and happy, and all that for free. I spend less money for food now than when I was vegetarian. Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to buy all of those supplements and so forth. Yeah. This is something I've been thinking about recently. I've been thinking whether or not I should do a video on this, but think about it. Like 70, 75 years ago, okay, people ate more meat, higher meat consumption, what there is today, and people were healthier. There wasn't this huge market on vitamins and other nutrients and so forth. People eat less meat now, and we have this huge market because people are sick and they're not getting the vitamins they need and so forth. So we have this huge market on, it's like $1 billion industry for supplements. And what they really need to do is they need to go back to eating the meat that has all the nutrients. Unfortunately, people out there will say, you know what, I can eat these vegetables and they have nutrients too. But the problem is that you're not designed to digest those properly. We are, whether people want to believe it or not, we are hyper carnivores. When you look at the technical definition, we are hyper carnivores. And that means that we eat mostly meat because plant material is not easily digested in our bodies and we don't absorb those nutrients. That's why we are hyper carnivores, whether anybody else wants to believe that or not. That is the reason why. And because of that, we have $1 billion industry on supplements because people are not being hyper carnivores. They're eating too much other stuff, the carbs that are not giving them the nutrients that their body needs. It's that simple. Like, go back to the meat and you're going to be able to absorb those nutrients.
And Brian, I got bad news for people on that. They go out and spend, some people, in hundreds of dollars, and a lot of those supplements, not all, but a lot of them, they're not bioavailable. They go in your mouth and out your butt. You don't really ever absorb. You may absorb 10 to 15%. Those multivitamins, those really hard, like Centrum multivitamins, you absorb almost none of those. It doesn't survive through the stomach acid. You absorb stuff, I think, through your small intestines. It never gets there. So you're spending all this money buying these pills, potions, and powders, thinking you're getting all these nutrients. And they can get away with this because those supplements do contain those nutrients. The problem is your body never absorbs them. Like we talked about, meat from a ruminant animal is the most bioavailable. So even the worst, cheapest hamburger meat at Walmart is better than the most expensive Pop-Tart. You know what I'm saying? You can buy some really expensive French pastry or whatever, and it's got all this and it's got protein in it. Your body's never going to absorb that. You can go to Walmart and buy the cheapest hot dogs there, and you're going to absorb more of the nutrients from that than from any plant-based stuff, just because of the way our digestive system is designed and has evolved over, however many years.
Yep. Bride's Biscuit says, of the 7 diseases and multiple other conditions, weight minus 69 pounds is near the bottom of that health improvement list, and mental health is absolutely at number 1. That's great. Target says, let's go back to Barquet. He is smart, but I do get scared. I need to hold my teddy bear while watching him. Well, I was thinking this, but Cynthia said it. Teddy may like the company. If you watch Bart, he's got it's Ted, actually, right? It's not Teddy, it's Ted. He goes by Ted. He's not Teddy. But yeah. Anyway, okay. Enough talk like that. I saw Bart on the Kilts panel, and he is clearly playing a character. In fact, he fully admits to it, and that's a welcome transparency. He is entertaining, and you can tell he is not a mean person. Yep. All right. I think we are caught up pretty much on comments.
Bride's Biscuit does have one where she says, she's talking to Cynthia, says, I'm so happy for you. You see that one? 912.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. So happy for you. I was on 4 meds for over 2 decades. No longer. I saw my doctor today and he is amazed. That's great.
And that, Brian, that's the next leg of the stool, I think, is getting the medical community, all the doctors on board, you know. And like you had a good experience. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you get a new doctor relatively recently, Brian, a couple months ago?
I did. I went to a new doctor.
Somebody that maybe was more receptive to a low carb lifestyle, where your other doctor wasn't. So that's a great example.
They also have I can't think of the word I want to say, but it's like one of the things that they look at is managing your weight for your health and so forth. And a lot of doctors don't do that, right? So they have like a program to try and help you to lose weight and so forth. And I mean, I'm not looking at that because I have done my own research and stuff, and this is what I want to do to get there health wise. But that's great that they do that, because a lot of doctors won't talk to you at all really about weight, or they'll just say, well, you could lose some weight. Like I might not have that, like with my AFib, you can lose some weight. It'll help some. It's not going to get rid of it. There's not really anything you can do about it. And now here I am 3.5 years later. I haven't had an episode in 3.5 years. So, yeah.
So the last comment where it says he asked about my diet.
Just came in. Yeah. He asked about my diet, and I said modified Mediterranean, focusing on whole food and nothing processed, low sugar. I didn't need to tempt the carnivore third rail. Yeah. That, for some reason, that's a tough one to actually tell them, like, you're carnivore. Just say you're doing whole foods, because it is whole foods, right?
Yeah. A low carb, whole food, natural diet, you know.
Yep.
But it's funny, my cardiologist, my electrophysio cardiologist, knows that I do carnivore, and this is the guy that treats AFib. He's done 3 cardioversions and an ablation on me. None of it really stuck, you know, probably because I fell off the wagon and stuff. But he told me to not stop. He said, do carnivore if it's working for you. You feel good. I showed him the video of me jumping rope, doing sprints, you know, inverted push-ups, all this stuff. He said, man, do not stop. And he wrote in my chart. I went back and read the doctor's notes. They send them to you on the app. You can go on and check your stuff. John follows a carnivore diet. It's working well for him. He was advised not to stop, to continue this. I mean, so, and this guy, first of all, he's an Indian, super nice guy. And I'm pretty sure that Indians don't eat a lot of beef. And he's an electrophysio cardiologist. So he's right in the thick. And he's a younger guy. He's probably 38, 39, maybe 40 years old. So he's right in the thick of the modern medical stuff. He's a leading edge person doing all the latest AFib treatments that, you know, are relatively new. And he wrote in my chart, John follows a carnivore diet. I've advised him not to stop. It's working well for him. He tolerates it well, you know. So that's a sea change there. I bet 10 years ago that wouldn't happen in a cardiologist's office.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even my primary doctor said, whatever you're doing, it's working. Don't stop. He didn't go into detail about that, but he said he could see the obvious improvements in my health over the last, you know, so many years. He told me, he said, look, don't take any of the meds I gave you. Stop taking the meds, and don't stop doing what you're doing. So
did I ever tell you about? Did I ever tell you about my doctor when I lost a bunch of weight? What they told me?
I don't remember.
So when I first started carnivore, I lost like 60 pounds or 65 pounds. I think it was 60 pounds in 3 months. So I lost quite a bit of weight in between going to my doctor. And I went in for my next checkup thing, whatever. And he saw me and he was like, wow, you look good. You've lost a lot of weight, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, whatever. He's like, so what did you do? And I couldn't tell him it was carnivore. So I said, well, I started doing the low carb diet, like keto type of thing. And it's been working really well. And he's like, oh, you don't want to do that, man. You're going to end up having heart disease and something. I'm like, dude, you just, before you knew what I was eating, you were like, oh my God, look at you. You look really good. Like, come on.
It's like it's so comical. It's like I used to watch wrestling when I was little. Brian, you ever watch wrestling when you were little? And it was such a show. The bad guy would have a weapon in his hand, and he would be beating on the good guy while the referee was distracted over here, and the audience would be screaming, "He's got a weapon! He's got a weapon!" And the referee's going, "What? What? What? What?" Meanwhile, the good guy's getting his head bashed in by this weapon, and then the referee turns around, and the guy sticks it back in his wrestling trunks, and he's like, it's like it's so obvious. It's so obvious the doctor didn't see that in one breath. "Oh, Brian, you're doing great. You look amazing. Keep, and then the next breath, "Oh, you're going to die." I mean, it's like so obvious that you can't see how ignorant those two statements are in the same breath. Either right. I'm going to die or I'm not. Either I'm doing well or I'm doing bad. You can't be doing well and bad. People say, and that gets back to a point that we've kind of gotten away from our topic, but, people think, well, this is not good long-term. You got to work really hard to convince me that something that heals AFib, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, mental disorders, plantar fasciitis, osteoarthritis, all this stuff is somehow one day going to go from extremely healthy to not healthy. How does that happen? On what day does that happen when something that's extremely healthy that fixes all of your medical maladies all of a sudden now is unhealthy? What day does that happen on? It makes no sense.
Let's take that a step further. Dr. Sean O'Mara, that we both follow, will do MRI scans showing your visceral fat around your organs, like your heart and that, which is very bad for you. And with eating this way, yes, he has people add in sprints and ferments. That's another story. But still, with eating this way, some people just eat carnivore and see him. And in even 30 days, there is a visible difference in the MRI scan, less visceral fat. So that's even taking it a step further. You're literally documenting and seeing that there's less visceral fat with eating this way. And somebody's going to say that is a bad thing for you. That makes no sense at all, does it?
Right. And he's talked about it and gone into detail. And he's the only physician that I'm aware of. And he is a research physician. He was an ER doctor, but now he basically focuses on research. And he's actually worked with the government, the NIH, the National Institute of Health, gave him grants. And he was looking at stuff for the military. And his hypothesis is that if you don't have visceral fat in and around your heart, you basically cannot have a heart attack. He said there is no documented cases of somebody, and you can ask ChatGPT this because he did on his video. There's no documented cases of a person dying of sudden cardiac arrest from a heart attack that when they do a postmortem or an autopsy, they don't have a visceral fat in their actual heart tissue. It's called epicardial adipose tissue, EAT. And he said if you can get all that visceral fat out of your heart and around your heart, the pericardial sac that your heart sits in, you basically have almost completely, and I mean, you can't say that definitively, but you've almost completely eliminated the risk of ever having a heart attack. And it's just that simple. And so tell me how this is going to give you a heart attack. Based on what we've just said from a research physician, MD, that this is his whole life is dedicated to this. It can't be two opposite things can't be true. Either it's bad for your heart or it's good for your heart. And the MRIs of all the patients that he looks at, he says, this is absolutely good for your heart. It's protective, it's cardioprotective.
Yep. And he's got some pretty high profile celebrities and athletes that he is, what's the word? He is their doctor, coach type person. I don't know what you want to call it, but that they are his clients. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
That he works with. And I remember one story he had with somebody that you would have looked at them just on the outside and you would have thought they were a pretty healthy person. They were a person that I think they ran marathons and stuff. And they had a heart attack. And then he started working with them and they had horrible visceral fat and changed up their diet, had them stop doing the long running and doing more sprints, and a remarkable difference in just a couple of months on their amount of visceral fat that they had. Well,
So Bride's Biscuit
there have
said
been some
at 9, go up there to 919, you see Bride Biscuit's comment about her insurance denying a claim.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I've heard, I could be wrong, but I've heard that that scan is like $150. So it might be something you can save up for if they are denying it. But it's interesting because insurance companies do this all the time, and doctors get frustrated with this. Like they know better than the doctor as to what a patient needs in terms of tests, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, this is kind of what I was kind of alluding to. Insurance companies have too much power. I remember having to argue with a company once trying to get more than 2 days for an open heart surgical patient.
Surgery.
Patient.
Open heart surgery.
I still can't talk. It's been a rough day.
Yeah.
But yeah. We are getting close to our hour and a half time frame here.
Yeah.
Oh, it says, or he says it's actually higher in my area. I couldn't do the CAC out of pocket either.
Yeah. I've heard as much as $500, around $400 to $500 in the Charlotte area.
Okay.
If you go in without, if you tell them you don't have insurance, sometimes they'll cut the price a little bit. But here in the Charlotte area, because I've looked into it for myself, there's $480 something. But basically, you can't have insurance because if you have insurance, they want to charge $5,000 for the same exact scan.
Yeah,
go figure.
Yeah, well, you know, if you have insurance, they also charge you like $20,000 for a TV on an overnight hospital stay.
Yeah.
Look at the breakdown; it's ridiculous. Like TV, $500 or $20,000. I'm like, what? $20,000 to watch TV last night? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 500 here. Okay.
And a bit of a drive, looks like. Yeah.
All right. So, anything you want to say to kind of wrap us up here? We're getting close to our normal cutoff time.
Just Brian, since the topic was kind of getting back on the wagon or getting back on the horse, I'm working really hard. I can't promise that I won't fall off the horse again. I'd like to tell you that I'll never do it again, but I'm not a liar. I'm going to try my best not to fall off plan again and continue to work on building my health and getting where I want to be. I think if the senior games were a little bit closer, I keep saying, oh, I've got all this time. I can lose weight before then. Maybe after the holidays, I'll be 100% committed. I should be 100% committed now, but I'm going to continue to work on me, continue to steer clear of the temptations. I need to do better at food prep because that's been my problem is I keep meaning I'm going to do food prep, but like my wife and I are going out of town all day tomorrow. I'm busy filming my video all day today. I just got to get really back on getting that food prep to have the right food available so that I don't fall off the wagon again. But that's what I'm going to work on. And I put out a video today. The title of the video is Carnivore Impossible? If you haven't watched the video, please check it out. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and a comment. A little spoiler: if you watch to the very end, it's kind of really good news at the very end. So check out my video if you will, and that's all I got, Brian.
All right. By the way, Target Prime Rib is up to 508 subscribers right now, so we're slowly getting them up there.
Yeah.
Share it. Remember, share his YouTube channel with other people. Let's get it up there.
And Target, I'll respond to your email as soon as we get off here. I'll go and see your email. Right? He said he emailed both of us.
Yeah, I see it too. So I'll get back to him as well. It's been nice chatting. Behave yourself, Johnny. Imagine some devil ears on those honey buns.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Well, we're pretty much at our 9:30. So I think it's been a great conversation tonight.
Very good.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll be back again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time.
7 Central. Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Hi, everybody. See you.